How to stripe your parking lot with handicap spots using a Trueline Striper. In this video, we want to show you how easy it can be to stripe your own parking lot. We will go over how to prepare and operate the machine, and we will go over some of the tools we will use to help you succeed. So let's get into it. How to prepare and operate our equipment. The first thing we want to do is prepare the paint. Thinning the paint is key to using our equipment. We are using Sherwin-Williams Hotline paint for today's video. The water-based paint needs to be thinned before we pour it into our machine, and we will be using water to thin it. I will start by adding about 10 ounces of water to every 1 gallon of paint. We will be checking the viscosity with the viscosimeter cup that comes with every machine. The viscosimeter cup has a hole in the bottom and allows us to get a consistent reading. This will ensure we have the proper consistency before we pour it into our machine. We will mix and check our viscosity. We want the paint to drain from the cup in about 26 to 27 seconds. We will dip the cup into the paint, pull it up, and time it using a timer. Again, we want the paint to run out of the cup in about 26 to 27 seconds. Different paints from different companies can vary slightly, and is why we include a viscosimeter cup with every machine. Now that we have the paint at the correct consistency, we can add it to the machine using the included funnel and strainer. The strainer helps keep any clumps or debris from getting into the machine that could cause the machine to clog while striping. How to operate a Trueline striping machine. All of our equipment operates in the same manner. The only difference is how they are pressurized. We will show you some of the basics on how our equipment operates using the 250 EC, which uses an electric compressor to pressurize the machine. First, we will connect the air line to the compressor, plug it in, turn it on, and let it pressurize. As it pressurizes, you will see the first gauge moving. The first gauge shows us how much pressure is in the compressor. The second gauge shows how much pressure is being supplied to the machine. As the compressor pressurizes, we can turn the regulator clockwise to pressurize the machine until we reach the pressure we choose. For today, we will be turning it until we reach 80 psi. This is a good starting point for the paint we are using for today. You may need to vary the pressure depending on the paint you are using. Once everything is pressurized, we can unplug the compressor. Next, we will move to the top of the tank. We have the air side and paint side. The air side consists of the airline that supplies the machine with pressure, a bleed-off valve to release pressure in the paint tank, and a safety relief valve to ensure our equipment is safe. Next is the paint side. Paint is supplied from inside the bottom of the tank and up through these fittings. This is where the drain hose normally goes. The drain hose allows you to empty the paint tank after you are done striping. But for today, we will be using an attachment, the 523 spray gun, which can do the same thing as the drain hose. We can remove the tip and screen from the spray gun to empty the paint tank like with the drain hose. This is the paint line that runs to the shutoff valve underneath the machine. The shutoff valve is operated from the hand control on the handle. Squeezing the hand control opens the valve, releasing the paint to the spray box, and releasing the hand control allows the valve to close, shutting off the paint supply to the spray box. The final piece is the spray box. We have different size boxes for different size lines. The boxes consist of a wing cap, a spray tip, and a screen that helps catch any debris from clogging the spray tip. The spray tip needs to be perpendicular to the box. We want the pattern spraying side to side when striping. After we are done striping, we can pull these parts out, clean, and drop them in some water. It is a good idea to keep these pieces clean and inspect before each use to help ensure we don't run into any issues in the future. Here are a few tools that we will use for today's project. We have our model 250 EC with the 523 spray gun. We have some thinned white and blue paint, a blower, some cones, handicap stencils, a roller and seal coat for blacking out the handicap spots, a funnel, drill, and shingles, a paint pan, brush, and some extra water for the paint change from white to blue. The parking lot for today has a section of handicap spots we plan to paint and stripe. So let's inspect the parking lot for any issues that we might have before we start striping. What we are looking for is debris, damaged spots, wet spots, or spots the machine might not fit and address those issues before we start striping. We want to check the weather for any possible rain, and we want to give ourselves plenty of dry time. Let's blow off the parking lot and start by blacking out the old handicap symbols with seal coat so they can start drying as soon as possible. We can lay the shingles in a square around the handicap symbols we want to paint to give us a nice clean edge. Or we can just use the roller to make a nice square. Now that we have the boxes all painted, we will need to wait until the seal coat is dry before moving to the next step. Now that the seal coat is down and dry, we can mix up our thin white paint and pour it into our machine. The Model 250 EC uses an electric compressor to pressurize the tank, so we can use an electrical outlet to pressurize the machine. Let's plug it in and let it pressurize. We can lay the shingles at the beginning of the lines for that crisp, clean, professional look. Now that we are ready to stripe, we want to make sure that our box is riding as flat to the ground as possible so we get a nice clean edge. We can line up our box and practice a few times before painting to help make sure everything is lined up before painting. If we need to make any micro adjustments, we can do that now. Now that we are ready, let's start putting down lines. Let's drop the box and start striping. We will pick up the box at the end of the line and move to the next line. Let's drop the box and repeat these steps until all the white lines are done. Now that we have all the white lines finished, let's move to painting the handicap symbols. Let's prime the spray gun to make sure it is ready to go. We will lay our stencil down, line it up, and use our spray gun to paint the handicap symbols. We want to make sure our stencil is nice and flat to the ground so we get a nice clean edge. Let's paint the stencil and give the handicap symbol a nice even coat of paint. We will repeat these steps until all the handicap symbols are finished. Now that we have all the white handicap symbols and parking lot lines painted, let's move to a grassy spot and clean all the white paint out of the machine. These will be the same steps we used to clean the machine at the end of the day. I will start by removing the tip and screen in the spray gun and box, putting them into some water so the paint doesn't dry on them. Then getting all the leftover paint out of the tank and lines. I will use the spray gun to empty the paint tank. Then empty the rest of the paint in the lines into the paint pan through the spray box. Now that we have all the paint out, we want to release all the pressure in the tank before opening it up to pour the clean water in. We will pour 1 to 2 gallons of clean water into the paint tank and scrub with the tank brush until all the white lines is cleaned from the inside of the tank. We will pressurize and flush all the water through the lines and tank. We will repeat this 2 to 3 times or until the tank and lines are all clean. Now we can pour our thin blue paint for the final step, striping the handicap spots with blue stripes. Let's pour the thin blue paint into the tank and pressurize it. Let's line up the machine and make sure the box is running flat to the ground. If we need to make any micro adjustments, we can do that now. Now that everything is lined up, we can drop the box and start striping. We will repeat these steps until all the blue lines are done. Now that we have our lines all done, we can head back to the warehouse, clean up our machine, and put it up until the next time we need it. If you like this video, please give us a like and follow for more videos to come. Let us know in the comments below what you'd like to see in a future video. Check the description below for more information, and until next time, take care.